The hospital in Zurich was quiet in the way only very expensive hospitals could be quiet. No ringing phones, no hurried footsteps, no shouting doctors. Just the soft hum of machines and the smell of disinfectant that somehow felt colder than usual. In a private suite on the top floor lay Viktor Sokolov, a Russian oligarch whose name appeared on oil pipelines, shipping companies, and sanction lists depending on who you asked. He had survived boardroom wars, political shifts, and one suspicious yacht fire. But now, at 63, his heart was failing him in the most unglamorous way possible. The surgeons had done their assessments. The operation was necessary, urgent, dangerous, but survivable. Everything was ready, except Viktor refused. "I will not go," he said calmly, his voice low but firm, thick with a Russian accent that still scared people half his age. Not yet, the head surgeon, a man who normally operated on royalty and billionaires without blinking, cleared his throat. "Mr. Sokolov, with respect, delaying this procedure increases your risk significantly." Viktor stared at the ceiling, unmoved. "Then I will accept the risk." The surgeon hesitated. "Is there a reason?" Viktor turned his head slowly, eyes sharp despite the fatigue. "Yes, my nurse is not here." The surgeon blinked. "Your nurse?" "Yes," Viktor said. "Her name is Maria." The surgeon glanced at the assistant, confused. "Sir, you have a full medical team assigned. We can provide any nurse you require." Viktor's lips pressed into a thin line. Not any nurse, her. At first, everyone assumed this was a delayed tactic born of fear. Powerful men were still men, after all. But hours passed. The operating room remained unused. The surgical team waited. Viktor did not move. "She's Filipino," he added quietly, as if that explained everything. The hospital administration scrambled. Calls were made, files were checked. Apparently, Maria Reyes had been Viktor Sokolov, as private nurse for nearly 7 years assigned during a previous hospitalization in Singapore and never truly replaced since. But she was not in Zurich. She was in Manila. Maria Reyes was not rich. She lived in a modest apartment in Quezon City with her mother and younger brother. She had just finished a night shift at a local clinic when her phone started vibrating nonstop. Unknown number. She ignored it. Then another call. Then another. Finally, she answered, irritated. "Hello, Ms. Reyes?" A formal voice asked, slightly accented. "This is Dr. Keller from St. Aurelian Medical Center in Zurich." Maria frowned. "I'm sorry, what?" "Mr. Viktor Sokolov is requesting your immediate presence." She laughed, tired and confused. "Sir, I think you have the wrong Maria." "No," the voice said carefully. "We are very sure we do not." Maria sat down slowly on her bed. She hadn't worked for Viktor in almost a year. After his last recovery, he had insisted she take time off, then eventually told her to go home. "Your family needs you more than I do," he had said, gruff as always. She assumed that chapter of her life was over. "Mr. Sokolov is scheduled for critical heart surgery," the doctor continued. "He is refusing to proceed unless you are present." Maria closed her eyes. "Sir, I am just a nurse." There was a pause. "Apparently, you are much more than that to him." Back in Zurich, Viktor lay awake, ignoring the pain creeping through his chest. Memories came uninvited. Maria scolding him for skipping meals. Maria sneaking extra pillows when he pretended not to need them. Maria speaking softly to him during nights when the machines beeped too loudly and the loneliness pressed too hard. She never feared him. Everyone else did. He remembered one night, years ago, when his fever spiked dangerously. Doctors rushed in and out. Assistants panicked. He could barely breathe. Maria had taken his hand. "Look at me," she said, steady. "You are still here. We breathe together." He did. That night, something shifted. It wasn't love. It wasn't romance. It was trust. The kind that money could never buy. In Manila, Maria called her mother, who listened silently as her daughter explained. "So, what will you do?" her mother asked. Maria sighed. "I don't know. It's halfway across the world." Her mother smiled gently. Then go. If someone trusts you with their life, that is a responsibility. Maria hesitated. But Ma, I'm not special. Her mother laughed softly. That's why you are. The next morning, a black car arrived at her building. Her neighbors stared. Maria stood there in jeans and a simple blouse, clutching a small bag, feeling completely out of place. A man in a suit bowed slightly. Ms. Reyes, we are ready. Ready for what? She asked. To take you to the airport. She blinked. Commercial flight? The man hesitated. No, ma'am. She followed him downstairs, and there it was. A private jet. She froze. This is not necessary, she whispered. The man smiled politely. Mr. Sokolov insisted. Maria swallowed hard. During the flight, she tried to sleep but couldn't. Her mind replayed every interaction she'd ever had with Victor. She wondered if she'd done something wrong by leaving. She wondered if she was about to fail him. When the jet landed, she was rushed through security and driven straight to the hospital. The moment she entered Victor's room, everything changed. He turned his head, and for the first time since arriving in Zurich, he smiled. You came, he said. Maria rushed to his side. Of course I did. Why wouldn't I? He studied her face, eyes softer than anyone ever saw. Because the world does not stop for old men with broken hearts. She squeezed his hand. It does if they are stubborn enough, he chuckled, then winced. She immediately adjusted his pillow, checked his monitors, and slipped seamlessly back into her role. The doctors watched, stunned. Within minutes, Victor's breathing slowed. His blood pressure stabilized. The head surgeon whispered to a colleague, What did she give him? Nothing, the colleague replied. She just arrived. When the surgeon asked Victor again if he was ready, Victor nodded. Yes, he said. Now I am. As they prepared to take him to surgery, Victor grabbed Maria's wrist gently. If something happens, he said quietly, you must promise me something. She frowned. Nothing is going to happen. He ignored that. Promise me you will not disappear again. Maria smiled softly. You survive first. Then we talk. The surgery lasted nearly 8 hours. Maria waited. She didn't leave her seat. Didn't eat. Didn't sleep. She prayed in silence, hands clasped, heart heavy. When the surgeon finally emerged, exhaustion etched into his face, Maria stood instantly. He's alive, the doctor said. Her knees nearly gave out. He will recover, the doctor added. Slowly, but he will. Maria covered her mouth, tears finally escaping. When Victor woke up, groggy and weak, the first thing he saw was Maria asleep beside his bed, head resting on her folded arms. He smiled faintly. Later, when he was stronger, he asked her, Why did you really come? She looked surprised. Because you needed me? He nodded. Many people need many things. She met his gaze. But not everyone asks with honesty. Word of what happened spread quietly. Not headlines, not press releases, just whispers among staff. A billionaire waited for a nurse. A powerful man trusted a Filipino caregiver more than any machine. When Victor was discharged weeks later, he made an announcement. Maria expected money, a bonus, a check, a reward. Instead, he said, I want you to choose. She blinked. Choose what? Your future, he said. Work anywhere you want. Study anything you want, or go home and live quietly. I will support whatever you decide. Maria shook her head. I don't need much, he smiled. That is why you deserve everything. She chose to return home. Before she left, Victor pressed a small envelope into her hand. Open it later, he said. On the plane, she finally did. Inside was not money. It was a handwritten note. In careful, uneven letters, it read, You reminded me that power means nothing without humanity. Thank you for seeing me as a person when the world saw only a name. Signed, Victor. Back in Manila, Maria returned to her clinic. Same uniforms, same patients. But something had changed. Not in her life. In the story people told. About a Russian oligarch who refused surgery. about a Filipino nurse who crossed the world not because she was ordered to, but because she cared. And about the quiet truth that even the most powerful hearts sometimes only listen to kindness,